Welcome back to another Rebel's Edge. In fact, the second Rebel's Edge for February 2026. We're going to cover some stocks, some unusual activity, and then sports on today's Rebel's Edge. Bang.
Man, you're worn out. I can feel it, man. It's all this travel.
Well, I'd be louder, but I'm in an airport lounge, so
Yeah, I know.
otherwise, anyway, that of course is my less attractive younger brother Pete, and I am Jon the Jerry, folks. Pete, let's dive right into macro, just because I'm sort of on a time crunch. I thought we'd say, well, gold and silver. Pete's been talking about it forever. Silver and gold, the Burl Ives trade, or the Yukon Cornelius trade, whichever way you prefer. But take a look at the tweet that I put out this morning, Pete, because when you see that gold started out at 4,300, it did trade up to almost 6,000, but then pulled back, and now it's making a rebound. As Charlie Munger said, if you can't stomach 50% declines in your investments, you will get the mediocre returns you deserve. I always love that one, because he's basically saying, hey, anybody can love the winners. It's like, what happens when it goes against you for a while?
And John, everybody was in a big panic yesterday because of the fact of everything going on. Makes some sense, right? Getting hit pretty hard as far as golds go and as far as silver goes, and the big pullback. Nothing ever goes in a straight line. We talk about that all the time. Sure, it goes bottom, left, up, or right, but along that little trip, there are some pullbacks, and we've seen some of those pullbacks. And what gave me the most confidence yesterday was, as we were going through the day, suddenly they came back buying more GLD, right? So silver and gold back on it. And today, SLV is out the wazoo. Now, I grant you that silver's on its move to the upside as well, but it's still a long ways from those highs. And it just shows you that people are still having an appetite for more in silver. So, yeah, I think from a macro perspective, it's really interesting to see what those precious metals are really doing. And, oh, by the way, silver also is a lot more than just a precious metal, and we know that.
Industrial metal for sure, Pete. And Jared, let's show them the unusual activity from yesterday, because there it is right on top, folks. GLD, I did this on our show called 3 at 3 yesterday, Pete, and GLD was 426. Well, it happened to have jumped rather dramatically from that level to like 454 or something like that, Pete. So, when they buy 5.5 million share equivalent, that tells you there's a commitment there. That's not just a spec trade. But yeah, that one worked out pretty well yesterday and today, Pete.
By the way, John, real quick on live, it's now trading 457. So yeah, that buyer yesterday is pretty pleased.
I dare say. All right. What about the VIX, Pete? It looked like it was going to break 16 and then V-shaped bottom right there. It bounced up to 17.
Yeah, we're seeing a pretty decent sell-off of the Nasdaq today, John. It's getting hit pretty hard. Is it for the right reasons? Maybe. You never really know. But when that's going to get hit, you're going to start seeing other things start to move a little bit, including the volatility index itself starts sliding around a little bit. We're up to 1750 right now. Could we go higher? Sure, we could. Is it going to sustain up there? Well, it hasn't for quite some time. So I think that would be the thing that I would be watching very, very carefully is, can it sustain anything above, let's just call it even 18? It hasn't happened for a while, but we are fast approaching 18 today, John, because we were just down there at 16. So pretty decent range right now when you take a look at just over the last 24 hours or so. Where is that volatility index? Well, 16 to 18. That's and it's getting a lot closer to 18 than 16 right now.
Well, then let's maybe dive into, Pete, the prediction market. When will the Trump administration release more Epstein files? And I highlighted this because it's a rather large bet already for something that I think just went up there. Basically, it's saying, okay, by the end of the week, is he going to release more Epstein files? And it's $700,000. Again, a lot different than if somebody just says, well, we called 400 homebound, people that took our call as in a poll, or people put hard-earned money across the table and said, I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to do it. I think, yeah, that's where that one sits, Pete.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll tell you what, these poly markets, it just covers everything. And it's why I smile when you're doing it, because I find it so interesting that the whole world is their, oyster to mess around with. And the fact that there's ways to invest on this whole thing is pretty interesting for me. That's awesome.
Well, now let's hit Palantir, Pete, because boy, it closed yesterday at 153. It rocketed up to almost 170 in the pre-market. It opened at 165 and a half roughly, and then pulled back rather dramatically. I mean, look at where it is right now. It's only up 4.5% at 154. So it's a full 10 or $11 under the high of the regular session. And people are just hitting it, Pete, even though these looked like spectacular numbers, I thought.
Oh, gosh, they don't just look like it. They were, John. I think those numbers were absolutely incredible when you see how they beat on the revenue by a long shot. I mean, and it's up 70% year over year, 70%. I mean, unbelievable. Then you look at the earnings. The earnings were a pretty good beat as well. You start looking at where things really are and the outlook. Well, the outlook, if that would have been disappointing, this stock would have probably gotten hit pretty hard. It wasn't disappointing. It was damn good. 61% year over year growth for the outlook. So for the full year, I mean, just looking at those numbers, what they were able to put up there. How about even the free cash flow of $4 billion? I mean, across the board, they just crushed it. And yet the markets aren't totally putting their arms around it. Maybe it's just because of the fact, John, that this stock has traded pretty damn well, I'd say, year to date, which is just a month. And even going back further, Palantir has been on a nice move to the upside.
How about Teradyne, Pete? TER put up some pretty interesting numbers also. Basically, increased demand for their AI-related products. They say they're firing on all cylinders, and that was from the press conference, Pete. And I got to say, I think they're right. I mean, up 44% revenue was from the prior year. So you already described 70% up in Palantir. This one's 44%, and that's not exactly showing a slowing in demand for that, is it?
Look at that chart. I mean, it's just outrageous, right? Going back to last year, right after that dump into April, and then you get all the way down, you're just barely over 60. And here we are now trading close to 280. I mean, absolutely outrageous, but for all the right reasons, John. We talk about AI. People have all wanted to say over the last 2 months, at least the last 2 months, maybe longer. Oh, yeah, this whole thing's a bubble. Oh, okay. Well, I see certain parts of it that are a bubble, but I also see demand out the wazoo. Yeah, out the wazoo. So when I look at this thing, John, and like you just said, the revenue up 44% year over year. That's a damn nice number, I would say. And the compute and the networking and the memory and all of that accelerating, I would say Teradyne is actually sitting in a really good place. Now, could they pull back because of the run? The answer is really easy. Yes, we've seen that happen with Micron. We've seen it happen to others when they've just gone parabolic and then they pull back. And I think that that's a possibility. So that's where you'd have to be a little bit nervous. I don't know that I'd be chasing it up here, John, but I certainly do like what they were able to put up for the quarter, because it's just outrageous. But it's what the world looks like right now because of all the AI and the demand that's coming from everywhere.
Let's do a derivative off of that then, Pete. Wolf, which is Terra Wolf. And I should have sent you something from Back to the Future, because TeraWulf doubled their infrastructure footprint, folks. They made some big acquisitions in Kentucky and Maryland, and that expanded their portfolio of power by 1.5 gigawatts.
1.5 gigawatts.
Marty, I'm sure in the future you can just find gigawatts everywhere. But wow, that is a lot, Pete. And why do they need all this? Guess why, folks? Because of AI data centers and EVs.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And you're right, John. I mean, they've created something that is significantly scalable, and it's doing things at the right time. I think their timing of this, buying this site in Kentucky and the other one over in Maryland, that just gives them so much more power. And I think that's what they're being rewarded by. By the way, we did have unusual in this one, John. I know we don't have it up there right now, but we'd had it just maybe as recent as a little over a week ago or so. Well, there it is. I didn't know you guys. How great is that? Well, those things moved pretty nicely, John. I can tell you that. They moved very, very nicely, especially because you've got time and time decay or whatever that's not going to start kicking in quite yet. So these things really did move pretty nice to the upside.
Indeed, Pete. And TeraWulf, WULF is the symbol, folks. Keep an eye on that one because, that's a move based on the acquisitions in Kentucky and so forth. But they've got a lot of good stuff coming, I think. All right, one last one, Pete. PayPal. These guys cannot get out of their own way. PayPal is down almost 20% today. Basically, sharp decline follows their earnings release and 2026 guidance, both of which, I mean,
is that a technical thing or?
Yeah, that's known as a Wall Street raspberry. I mean, nobody thought this was good. I guarantee, Pete, when they brought this one to the CEO, he probably started saying, well, bring me my box, because he's going to fill it with the stuff that used to be on his desk and get the hell out, because this was so disappointing that they basically said, you're gone. The board said, you're gone. We're going to put this Enrique Lor's former CEO of HP in charge starting in March. So yeah, this is basically rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, I guess.
You know, you're absolutely right, John, because you couldn't find one thing in this report that was positive. Not one. How was the revenue?
No.
They missed. How was the earnings? They missed. How was the outlook? They disappointed. You know, did they do something? They did one good thing, I guess. They got rid of a CEO who was watching the Titanic fall and adding a CEO that maybe can get some of the water out of the ship. But whatever the case may be, John, PayPal has definitely been on this terrible drop, and this is amazing. Like you just said, and the last I looked, it was only down 17%. Here it is down nearly 20%. So the pain is there, and they continue to pound this thing to the downside. It's unreal.
Yeah, and they're a victim of some of the same things that they hope to benefit from, Pete. Because for a while, PayPal was saying, "Hey, yeah, we're a way for you to play digital assets. Right. We're a payments platform, but we're also a way for you to play digital assets." And that didn't work out so well when digital assets did this. So it's a shame. Obviously, it's still a great brand. Can it be turned around? Of course it can. But yeah, this is not good. The competition in the space is fierce, and these guys are really feeling the pain, the pinch, if you will, from that, Pete.
Yep, for sure. Well, I heard a rumor you got to jump, or are you able to stay with us for a couple of minutes?
Unfortunately, I got to jump, but I can watch this video with you before I go, and then Pete can walk you through the rest of sports. I think you guys will like this.
Yeah, this is great.
Absolute insanity of the college football marketplace. We just found out that former Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson turned down offers between $4.5 and $6.5 million to transfer to schools next year. Let that sink in. Miami, in fact, reportedly offered him $6.5 million to play there. Ole Miss said they would match it. Tennessee was in the mix, and all of this for a guy to come play quarterback for one season.
One season.
Now, credit to Ty Simpson here, Donnie, because in a time where players are suing the NCAA to gain a 6th or 7th year of eligibility and income, really, this kid is turning down the easy cash to enter the NFL draft and bet on himself. He doesn't want to wear another college jersey or get another college bag. And that, my friends, is extremely rare. It's very commendable as well.
Unreal.
Let's look at what this says about the sport. College football, it's officially broken. It is the wild, wild west. We have quarterbacks who haven't won a national title or anything for that matter, being offered $6 million to jump ship. It's about getting the bag, and once that check clears, so does the hunger, Donnie. So good for Ty Simpson for chasing the NFL dream instead of the NIL check, betting on himself. But for the rest of the sport, welcome to minor league football.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
The money has become crazy. They haven't figured out a way to change it at all. Although I will tell you this, John, and then I'll let you go. But if you look at the head coach at Clemson, had a great spot that he put out there on what's wrong, how to fix it, how they need to go forward and get it done, because he's been so against this whole thing. But they don't want to listen to him, John. They don't want to listen to him. And he'd be a good guy to listen to, because this is ruining the game. And these kids, it's making it tougher and tougher for them to actually get a degree because of the fact that, they're jumping around so much and all the rest. I mean, it's crazy. So is it college football? No, it's a broken version of college football that's now turned into the NFL. So it is what it is. I'll let you go, John. I know you got to run.
Listen to him, folks. He knows. All right. I'll see you tomorrow, Pete. Thanks.
All right. Cool. All right. From the sporting side of things, let's just jump right into it. One of the things that John and I were going to talk about was college football, of course, because he just had that great video we wanted to lead into this thing. But what schools are doing really, really well? I mean, we have to report on it. If it's there, we got to talk about it. And I'm talking about the portal, which is in the NFL world, that's called free agency. So what's happening in the portal right now? Who are the top 10 schools right now with the best players? They give them these stars, 4-star, 5-star, 3-star, 2.5, whatever. They give them these stars. Who's gotten the most and the highest level kids coming to their school? Well, it starts off with LSU. You've got Ole Miss, Texas, Miami, Ohio State, Penn State, Oklahoma, Indiana, Texas Tech, and Kentucky, right? There you go. Some of those names are kind of interesting, right? Kentucky. I mean, that's not usually a name you'd find in there. What I found the most interesting about the top 10 of it's who wasn't there. And what do I mean? Michigan, they're not in the top 10. Oregon, no. Georgia, no. Texas A&M, with all the money and all the over all the years of them being somebody who does that, Texas Tech is in the top 10. Texas A&M is not. Neither is Alabama. Neither is Notre Dame, Oklahoma, BYU, Utah. We're talking about a lot of the schools that are some of the biggest schools who have some of the biggest dollars, and they are not in the top 10. I found that to be pretty interesting. So we'll see how that all unfolds over time. And I will say this, I think Lane Kiffin threw in that number trying to make somebody else pay the money to get that quarterback, Ty Simpson, that John was just talking about with the video, because he's already got a quarterback. Matter of fact, he's already signed 2 quarterbacks. There's no way he really wanted a third quarterback. He already got the quarterbacks that he wanted. So this is a way for him to kind of drive up that price by saying, you know what, I'd do it too. Well, doesn't look like he's going to have to, but he certainly had to drag Miami's numbers up that much more. Just a crafty move, I think, by him on that. All right, Super Bowl. I'm going to throw this one out at you. We are very close. We're closing in on the Super Bowl. There's all the bets that are going to be going on. How long is the national anthem and this, that, and the other? The number of points per quarter. I mean, everything that you can do. I just want one thing. Who's going to win the game and why? And I'm going to give you mine right now. I'm going to say the Seattle Seahawks are going to win. Why is that? Because Sam Darnold in the playoffs has already improved as a quarterback that had an MVP-like year during the regular season. I think Drake May is a great quarterback. He had a great first year that he absolutely had everything under control and was crushing it. But in the playoffs, he's actually slid down, and I don't know what's going on, but he has really taken a slide in terms of completion percentage and some of the sacks and also some of the interceptions, all of that, it makes me wonder. And a suffocating defense from Seattle. Seattle has probably arguably one of the best defenses that's been in football in the last 4 or 5 years, I would say. Now, there's been some that are awesome. The Chicago Bears, obviously some of those Ravens teams, throw in some of the Pittsburgh teams as well. But I will say this, that Seattle defense is absolutely amazing, and they are loaded across the board. So it could put a lot of pressure on Drake May and New England, and I don't know, enough about how well they really could do. But I do think that they're going to be at a level that New England's not going to keep up with. And for that reason, I'm taking Seattle. Anyway, hope everybody enjoyed today's show, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Giddy up.